This happened this morning. Andre Drummond says he has more work to do in Philadelphia. My plan is to come back. I said, please don't. And Andre Drummond replied, damn, with a sad face. See, I keep forgetting that, like, Twitter is a place where they might actually respond. And then I felt bad because he just put damn with a sad face. So I tried to fix the situation. I said, listen, nothing personal, big dog. You just looked pretty washed and couldn't stop my 9-year-old at the rim. All love. So hopefully I alleviated that thing and there's no beef there between me and Andre Drummond. I feel like this is pretty respectful. And then he said, probably not. Been hurt all season, but all good. Watch how I come back. And, I don't know. Shout out to Andre Drummond. I'm just keeping it a buck as far as the team. You weren't hurt all season. What are you talking about, bro? Why are you lying to me, Andre? Why are you telling me you were hurt? You weren't hurt all season. You were in the damn game and you can't guard the rim. I'm just keeping it a buck here. The 76ers need size and interior defense, and you can't guard the rim. I'm sorry. I know you probably got some fans on Twitter that want you to sign a jersey or something that are going to tell you, they're probably coming at me in these replies. I'd rather have Andre than Paul George. Well, I'm just trying. Hey, listen, I hope Andre Drummond doesn't hate me, and I hope he doesn't find me in the street and body slam me, but that is what it is. Anyway, let's get down to biz. Shout out to Andre Drummond. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. I'm just saying you can't guard the rim, and as a Sixers fan, I need somebody that can guard the rim. Sorry. You know what I mean? But you're going to pick up your player option anyway because it's fucking free money, dude. So nothing personal, but I'm going to double down. I don't know, man. Whatever. Twitter's a wild place. We're just going to go on Sixers Adam's Twitter page and read all of the things that were said and react to all of the things that were said because he goes through and basically tweets everything important that was said the whole day. So shout out to Sixers Adam, and that's how we're going to do it. And somebody in the chat said, trade Maxey. Stop smoking, bro. Stop. It's too early to be smoking, bro. Come on, man. At least brush your teeth first before you roll that up. Paul George says he's for sure surprised by what transpired this season for the Sixers and acknowledged unfortunate injuries. To be honest, I think it was going to take time for us to get where we really wanted to go. Unfortunate injuries. See, here's the thing with the injuries. Everybody wants to make it sound like injuries to a team are totally random. They want to make it sound like all these guys are 25 years old and just randomly got hurt. If you guys were in your prime and you were getting injured, that would be unfortunate injuries. But when you are the oldest roster in the NBA and everybody gets hurt, nobody's surprised and nobody thinks, oh, it's only because they got hurt, they'll be back next year. No, they got hurt because they are old and injury prone and they are washed and it's not going to work. But you're going to find out. If you haven't heard what Daryl Morey said, you're going to find out that apparently their plan is to just try again. Paul George says he's feeling a lot healthier, though he's taking things slowly. Finger-related limitations are non-existent. Pause. While groin and knee are progressing. How'd the dude get 7 injuries? How did he get 7 injuries in 20 games, bro? I'm supposed to believe that you're about to be 35 years old, you got injured 7 times in 20 games, and I'm supposed to believe you're coming back healthy? Come on, bro. Come on, man. How did you get hurt so many times in 20 games? Well, for everybody wondering, Paul George has no finger-related limitations, and his groin and his knee are progressing. I mean, that is... I just can't handle how funny this team is, man. I swear to God, I feel like It's a spoof. I feel like the whole thing is a spoof by the Wayans brothers. And Marlon Wayans is playing Paul George and saying stupid shit because they're obviously joking. Paul George says his chemistry with Joel Embiid on and off the court improved this season. It comes down to trusting our process. Oh, God. You know, somebody before the press conference should have said, hey, whatever you do, man, don't say trust the process. Don't do that. Don't say trust the process. I'm going to say trust the process. Should I say that? That's what they like to hear, right? Trust the... No. Don't say that. Because they've been trusting the process now for 12 years, and nothing has come of it. But that's what he said. What else did Paul George say? Paul George says he thinks the Sixers can still reach a championship level. I mean, of course he thinks that. He's not going to say no. They probably asked him if he thinks that, and he said yes. Highlights the importance of young players like Jared McCain and Justin Edwards when acknowledging the top of the roster is older. Hopefully we retain our top pick and find another young talent. Yeah, the top of the roster is older. And having good young players is nice, right? But having good young players doesn't change the fact that the top of the roster is older. And when you're old, max contract players get hurt because they're old, young players can't really take it. Nothing's, you know what I mean? Jared McCain is going to be fun to watch next season, but you're not a contender because you also have young, healthy players. If your old players are hurt, because your old players are supposed to be the best ones on the team. I do want to say this. We did get pretty much exactly what we expected from Paul George this season. We knew Paul George was on the second half of his career. We knew he was no longer a superstar. We said all these things in the offseason. Joel Embiid basically didn't play the whole season, and then we expected Paul George to step up and do something more than we had expected when we signed him. So I do think, and then he got hurt 15 times. So there's that. But I'm not like shocked at what Paul George looks like. It's just that he was supposed to be the third option behind Maxey alongside Joel Embiid, and none of that happened. I do hate his nonchalantness. I do hate the way he approaches the game. I hate the way he talks to the media because he just seems so delusional and completely out of touch with reality. And I hate his YouTube channel. I'm glad 76ers fans destroyed it by hitting the dislike button 3,000 times on one clip. But again, I don't know. I don't know Paul George. He's probably a nice guy, but he is washed. Let's call it what it is. Paul George says he had conversations with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey about connecting over the summer. All right, sweet, dude. Maybe Paul George and Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid could all do a podcast episode together and still get hurt next season. I don't know. What else we got, man? Tyrese Maxey says he learned a lot this season, called the end of it extremely tough. Tyrese says his finger is improving, but he probably needs another month before being back to normal. Do you guys think that Tyrese Maxey actually had a finger injury? Like, I thought that was made up. I thought that was made up for the tank. And now Tyrese Maxey's basically saying he's needs another month to be back to normal. Okay. I don't even really have anything. I don't know what to say about that. Tyrese Maxey asked about what positives he takes from this season. The only way to go is up. That is true. This was about as terrible as you could have imagined. Isn't it wild, man? Like, isn't it just wild? I'll never forget when somebody commented, "Don't worry, it will get worse, much worse than you could ever imagine." And at some point, the Sixers have to hit the point where you can't get worse. But, like, really, since the Doc Rivers regime, they've been just going downward. Like Doc Rivers didn't get any farther than Brett Brown got with the team. Nick Nurse hasn't even gotten to the second round with the team. He lost in the first round and then missed the playoffs the next year. They actually keep getting worse, and you're going to hit a point where it can't get worse, right? But every time I think it can't, it does. I think this is the first offseason where I'm not going to expect it to get better. I'm not putting myself there again. What is happening? My cat's playing with a toy in the other room. Anyway, what's next, man? We got to get to the Daryl Morey, Nick Nurse stuff. Tyrese Maxey, I think we all need a mental break. We? Wow. Tyrese Maxey believes the Sixers can reach a championship level, but the number one thing they must do is stay healthy. Oh my God. What, like, am I okay? I need to write this down. I'm making a t-shirt with a Sixers logo that says "If Healthy." That's going to be our off-season t-shirt. If healthy. It's going to be Sixers font, and it's just going to say "If Healthy," because that's what this team has been for how long? How many more years are we going to say "If Healthy"? If healthy. If healthy. God, this can't go on for much longer. It just can't. Maxey said, I don't feel great right now. It's not a great feeling about the end of the season. Kelly Oubre said it can't get any worse. Kelly Oubre made a joke about Joel Embiid fighting Tigers, Lions, and Bears. Okay, haha, great time for a comedy stand-up, Kelly. Kelly Oubre said, I like to finish when I start, and I don't feel complete. So Godspeed when asked about his upcoming player option. Yeah, Kelly's going to pick up player option, right? That was before the Bulls game. Those comments from Paul George and Tyrese Maxey. By the way, we did not get an exit interview from Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid did not have an exit interview. The Sixers say because he has a follow-up appointment in NYC. Embiid has not spoken to the media since February 20th. So, should we read a little bit into that? Should we make up some kind of conspiracy theory? I mean, there was the whole, like, there's a rift between Joel Embiid and the ownership or the management, right? And Joel Embiid hasn't spoken to the media since February 20th. Joel Embiid thought that they were handling his injury wrong, and he went straight to Josh Harris over Daryl Morey and said, hey, I need surgery, and then he goes and gets surgery. Daryl Morey comes out in a press conference and says, I'm not getting fired, ha, suck it. Joel Embiid doesn't even do an exit interview. I don't know what's going on, bro, but there could be something brewing behind closed doors with Joel Embiid, Daryl Morey, Nick Nurse, ownership. I don't know. We'll just have to see, but it's pretty interesting that he didn't do an exit interview at all because he has a follow-up appointment in NYC. That's like me calling my son off from school because he has a dentist appointment. Like, bro, all the technology in the world we have, we could get a Joel Embiid exit interview. You know what I mean? Hey, we're going to do a Skype call real quick. You guys remember COVID when everyone was on the Zoom calls? No, we can't get one of those? All right. Okay. Kyle Lowry says he wants to play one more year, and hopefully it's here. I hope not, but Kyle Lowry also has a player option. And believe it or not, Kyle Lowry has a no-trade clause. Oh my God. Why does he want to play one more year, bro? You are so washed. It's insane. He says he wants to return because of his pride and being from Philadelphia and his relationships with Nick Nurse. We get it. You're from Philly. You love Philly. That's awesome. You love the Sixers. That's great. We got a wide open assistant coach position for you, Kyle. We don't have a position that includes wearing a jersey and getting on the court. All right? And so, some of the things that you're going to hear that Daryl Morey said make me laugh because Kyle Lowry is one of those players that was too old to be playing the amount of minutes that he was playing. Andre Drummond says he's looking forward to a great season next year and he wants to come back. He has more work to do. My plan is to come back. We had a Jared McCain quote here. Jared McCain says he's now jumping with no pain. Plan for the summer is just to get healthy so he can get back to work. He can't wait to be able to just run up and down the court. Shout out to Jared McCain, man. And that's a terrible injury for such a young player. It's a long recovery time, the ACL thing. So hopefully he gets back to normal.